Sam Seder has a lot of angry things to say, mostly about good things. And one of those good things is Jerry Seinfeld. He has somewhat of an obsession with Jerry Seinfeld and has had for a while. And now you're going to hear about it. Let's hear about Sam Seder's obsession with Jerry Seinfeld in just the one of the many clips that he has done on him.
Jerry Seinfeld. I'm not going to get to Brian Callen on PBD.
And we have to save both of these for you? Greedy.
Seinfeld having some sort of
You can do some Seinfeld. Believe me, some Seinfeld.
sublime ego.
Oh my God! Just the size of self-satisfaction between the two of them. It's amazing. And you know what? You know what?
That's me going back to North Dakota.
Don't play the first part, because the first part, the first like 2 or 3 minutes shows how deeply shallow Jerry Seinfeld is. I mean, it's such a petty thing, but it shows how deeply, incredibly shallow.
His comedy is shallow.
He is as a thinker, as a.
Or do you have to go?
Can we do 5 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Just play this. Yeah. Play this. This is like, I know this is small.
Wait. Before we continue this video of us playing Sam Seder, playing Jerry Seinfeld, so okay, maybe she's not token. She's just there to give him permission to talk about Seinfeld. Then again, it could be that she's just had enough, as some people on this channel have had when we talk about Owen Jones. But yeah, so he starts with his issues with Jerry's comedy. I don't know if it's in this video, but in one video, Sam Seder mentions a story about how he auditioned for a role and I think got it in Seinfeld, and then they were filming on Yom Kippur.
He almost didn't get a role on the show called Jerry Seinfeld.
What? No, Sam Seder
was
auditioning for a role on Seinfeld, and the show is called Seinfeld, not Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh.
Anyway, as Sam Seder is auditioning, and he got it, from what I remember from that story. Maybe we'll do that clip a different day and find out. But then they were shooting on Yom Kippur, so Sam Seder, advocate of everybody wants to kill the Jews, doesn't like it when people of Jewish descent violate the holy holidays or the high holidays. That is, I find that interesting. But Daniel, anything on that bit before we go into what is hopefully the meat of it? Although if you've been watching Sam Seder, maybe not.
I mean, just sort of a general. I don't know what is like Sam Seder's. Apparently, he has a bunch of videos for Seinfeld. I don't know what is like the obsession with it. But oftentimes I find it interesting how it can never be that somebody is a bad guy. It always has to be that somebody is a worst guy possible. So not only Jerry Seinfeld, I don't know, maybe he is pro-Israeli for you or something, which I don't think he even really seems to be that much. But let's say it's something like that. Well, it's not only that, but his comedy isn't funny, his show isn't funny, he groom people or he whatever, and like it has to be all of that all together. It cannot just be one thing.
Well, he did go after Seinfeld about dating a younger woman once. Maybe I'm almost sure we're gonna hear this here, because I think I heard it in a few of his clips about Seinfeld. Davey Boy asks, why isn't it pronounced Seder as in the Pesach holiday? I think for the same reason Robert Nasser doesn't pronounce his name Nasir. I don't know if you're here in the chat, Robert, but and I don't know if I'm ascribing to you something that might not be true. But I just did. So, yeah, please tell us if it's wrong. Daniel, let's play the clip.
In all of like the Jerry Seinfeld, but nothing illustrates how deeply shallow this man is as a thinker, but also as an artist, as a comedian. How untethered he is from stuff. Go take it. You know what I'm talking about?
It's just right at the beginning.
Okay, yeah.
So today I'm a little fachada, right?
Fachada? Verklemmte?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure the difference, but
For me.
Is this Jewish enough, this show, for you?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Just riffing.
stuff. Good stuff.
Well, Jerry Seinfeld, welcome to Honestly.
Thank you, Barry. It's my pleasure to be here.
How's the coffee?
That's pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah. I have this new bit I'm doing about that coffee is the most important thing in a human's life. That when you get to your last
Pause it
thought
for 1
before you
second.
move on.
Okay. Now, I want you to know I watched actually a couple of minutes after this. But he's doing a new bit. I mean, I love, and maybe just, I'm going to be generous here.
Wow.
They just cut. They cut to that, although I don't know how. I mean, the first question is, how's the coffee? Because she's so uncomfortable and she wants to make sure the coffee's good. And he launches into like, well, actually, that reminds me of me. I am doing a bit that coffee is the most important thing in a person's life.
Whoa.
Okay. He's doing a bit.
Buckle up.
This is his artistry. He's doing a bit that coffee is the most important thing in a person's life.
Okay.
Now, continue.
That's pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah. I have this new bit I'm doing about that coffee is the most important thing in a human's life. That when you get to your last thought before you move on to the next world, whatever it is, it will not be about your relationships or your
All
accomplishments.
right, pause it. Also,
Your
I
last-
just have to stop here, and we're going to go back a little bit. She's laughing because she doesn't know where she's supposed to laugh. I mean, she's so devoid of a sense of humor.
Oh, yeah.
And so intent and so excited that she has Jerry Seinfeld here. Probably as a function of his like newfound Zionism and anti-wokeness.
She's counting the views already.
Yeah, she's laughing at what is his setup. I mean, it's upsetting enough to listen to somebody laugh at the part that he thinks is funny about this, but the part that he doesn't even think is funny, you can hear her laughing. She's just so excited.
Well, the
which
funniest part for me is that they're drinking from free press mugs. This is her thing called the Free Press. It's her pro-free speech publication. Have they commented at all on the largest crackdown on student protests
Okay,
and
well,
free
yeah.
all right,
speech?
but- but I,
Wait, did you stop me, or was it somebody? There's like 4 people talking. Okay, it wasn't.
Oh,
you.
I didn't know. I didn't pause. But if you paused here, maybe it's a good time to listen to a little bit less of these people. I mean, she's so bitter. What is it with these leftists who are so bitter? I mean, yes, he's a comedian who's being interviewed and doing a bit. By the way, I didn't remember that this video is the one where they go through his Barry Weiss interview. I remember that interview. It was really much of it was not funny, as in not because of the reason Sam Cedar will give you, but just because they were talking about October 7th and about him going there. So yeah, I don't know if Sam Cedar did something on that. I wouldn't put it past him as a human being, but maybe as somebody who kind of wants to retain any semblance of decency with an audience, maybe they didn't. But maybe we'll be surprised, and it's even in the next few minutes that we're seeing here. Yeah, Daniel, do you have anything to say, or do you?
I mean, I don't really get it because, like, Sam Cedar, I believe he's a comedian, like either professional comedian or did stand up or is a writer or something. So, like, he should know. It's like interviewing comedians is hard. It's incredibly hard, especially for Barry Weiss, who has like no background in it. Even for comedians, it's hard to like interview other comedians. So again, trying to expect that Barry Weiss is going to have this like incredible, like she's gonna pull off what's this what's the guy's name, Jesus, I can who's the late night host, one of the best late night hosts?
Kimmel?
No. No.
Jay Leno? I don't know who
No.
was good.
Who replaced? No, it wasn't Conan. Conan O'Brien.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Yeah, like he thinks she's gonna pull like Conan O'Brien type of like interviewing style of comedians. Like, yeah, it's gonna be probably a bit awkward, especially if she is somebody who admires him. You always are a bit starstruck. It's always like hard to do. So, and maybe I can say it more since I'm let's say a bit more nicer to Barry Weiss, and he is obviously very animalistic towards her, so he latches on anything he can get. But yeah. Oh, and what?
Antagonistic?
What did
What
I
was
say?
the word you were looking for? Because you said animalistic, which he is.
It's also
Oh, all right.
also works.
Just with Emma, chiming in there about the free press mugs, the Barry Weiss's free speech platform. Why aren't they saying anything about the crackdown on student protesters? As in, why isn't she standing up for people who are violent against Jews in expression of their views? So yeah, Emma, sorry I said your token. I see your value now. Let's play some more.
I want to stay just in this moment be here, okay? I don't want anything broader than just this moment.
Okay,
because
okay.
remember, coffee's the most important thing.
All right, I won't get it.
Most important thing. It's the last thing that you're going to think about when
Understood.
you die. Here we go.
Wow.
In a human's life, that when you get to your last thought before you move on to the next world, whatever it is, it will not be about your relationships or your accomplishments. Your last thought will be, that was good coffee.
So as
The rest was complicated, but I enjoyed the coffee.
So as I pass on to the world to come, or as you do rather.
Yeah.
What coffee will you think of? What's your best coffee? Not this. What's your favorite?
It's great. I love any coffee, but I don't know. Somehow when you're in like Italy, it seems like it tastes better of France.
Okay. All right. So the only reason why, I just say this is from an artistic and comedic standpoint. He's just said that coffee is the most important thing in people's lives. What kind of coffee do you like? I don't know. I don't know the stuff you get in France or Italy.
All right, let's pause. First of all, it's not a bad bit. I don't know why this guy's so bitter. More bitter than like the worst coffee out there. It's and maybe and look, I actually the follow-up question and the lack of answer, okay, coffee serves additional purposes other than enjoying the taste. But fine, I'm wondering if Sam Seder is bitter about not being invited in to join Jerry and comedians in cars getting coffee because you mentioned he's a comedian, and I guess not a good enough one to be on that show, which is a pretty good show. Seinfeld is funny. I always say Jerry Seinfeld is the least funny of the four people on the show, which is true, and he's also not an actor, which you can see because on the show itself he keeps laughing at his own jokes. But he and Larry David are the masterminds behind it, and unlike Larry David, he's also on the good side of the battle for civilization.
Yeah, I am on a Sam's side here. It's I don't know what this bit is like supposed to be. I mean, the punchline is kind of obvious, so but again, it's a developing bit, right? We don't know where it's going or how long is it or whatever is even the sort of thing. So okay, I don't want to like comment on the craft of the bit, especially somebody who is on a bit of a different side of humor. But
Person in the chat who says Seinfeld is brilliant, almost like you, Razi. Flattery will get you everywhere. But stick around. After we finish the Sam Seder bit, I have a question for you based on your previous interactions. Yeah.
Isn't that the guy who's like, there's no objective morale? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But there is objective brilliance, and that's Seinfeld and myself, according to this guy. I'm not going to say even a broken clock is right twice a day, as Harry Binswanger explains. That's actually not true. But let's roll the tape.
Just contemplate this for a moment. Coffee's the most important thing in people's lives. This is what the premise is. It was so funny.
Because why? Because you think it's good and you might die right then?
That's just the last thing you think about. Because coffee's the most important thing in your life. Except for what kind of coffee do you like? I don't know.
Yes.
French or
I like going on
Italian?
vacations.
Like European coffee. Just think about
Famous Europe coffee.
the thinking that goes into he wonders why comedy has passed him by. He wonders why his frosted cereal Pop-Tart movie is being met with total derision and lack of interest. It is because the level of thought that goes into his humor is so shallow and other things too, that even the most important thing to a person's life, according to the premise of his joke, maybe if you go to Europe, like the joke there is that. It's that he thinks
wait,
it's the most important thing in his.
before Emma graces us with her pearls of wisdom, uh, comedy has passed him by. Guy probably made more money per episode of Seinfeld than Sam Cedar will make in his entire life. And I acknowledge Sam Cedar undoubtedly makes more money than we do here. So yeah, I wouldn't say comedy passed him by, but great, you plucked out the one movie that wasn't a great success. And you know, he's big enough to have actually been able to make that movie and have people like you talk about it. This is like when the White House responded to the South Park first episode of the season by saying they're completely irrelevant. No, you're talking about them, and it's a weird insult. I would never say about anybody we talk about on this channel that they're irrelevant, including Sam Cedar, because if we're talking about you, you probably have some sort of an impact, and if we think it's negative, we're going to point that out. But yeah, insults are easier than arguments. Daniel, do you have to leave right now? Because I think we have a nice segment here that could be cut out and
We could separate it,
okay. When are you returning? Can you give us
like 10
a
minutes or so.
all right. So 10 minutes from now, Daniel will return in this segment on Seinfeld, and Sam Cedar will continue. And yeah, then Daniel will do his magic and cut them apart, piece them together, and then people share it. Both Sam Cedar and Jerry Seinfeld will want to see it, and you can make that happen. Uh, Salome asks, "What the fuck is this temper tantrum?" It's that's a thing that I've seen from Sam Cedar multiple times when talking about Seinfeld. You know what? Actually, remind me to answer that question when we're back recording the next part of this segment. Let me. You know what? No, there's going to be enough that we can splice it all together. Um, yeah, he has temper tantrums on Seinfeld. He has multiple ones, and it's about Seinfeld's support for Israel, Seinfeld's uh, past dating of a younger woman, and a bunch of things. And as I mentioned earlier, there was a point where I wanted to do a whole show where we go through segments of Sam Cedar, talk about Seinfeld, because again, it's relevant. This is what's important to these people, and we, finally we're doing it now in never-ending streams. Corey says, Daniel obviously doesn't drink coffee. That is true. But I do, and I get what Seinfeld is saying, but maybe that's not the best answer to the question. And that alone is a good enough opportunity for Sam Cedar to jump on it and create a whole segment that his people uh, appreciate. Uh, Yeah, how is Cedar even popular? Even his co-host looks bored as fuck. That's just I think her resting whatever face. From what I've seen, yeah, I said earlier she doesn't seem to contribute much of value. Then again, from time to time, she has these gems that are worth it. Moody, welcome back. Moody asks, why are we talking about Seinfeld? We're talking about Sam Cedar. And we were going to talk about Sam Cedar, a recent video that he did that's relevant to what we're talking about on these long streams. But because these long streams are here to provide war coverage, but it's not like we have updates every minute. We have updates and we talked about them. And I think the big one of Trump's latest statement is something we're going to talk about a bit more. But yeah, we thought let's make it a little bit lighter. Uh, Patrol in the chat says, just can't get this. Y'all speak like normal people, but with such evil stances that I feel like I'm in a moral dilemma on whether to feel bad or angry. Are you evil or brainwashed? Retards, sad state. Uh, uh, I think that statement speaks for itself. So I'm not gonna. I'm not. I encourage you to keep watching and actually add another element to your viewing experience, which involves listening and then maybe challenging some of the way you think. But I'm not gonna hold my breath. And yeah, the person who gave me a compliment earlier after attacking us repeatedly and said some things about objectivism. I have a question for you. Have you read anything by Ayn Rand? And if so, can you name the books that you read? Because I'm interested in where you got your understanding of objectivism and yeah, and having like actual specific things that you are in disagreement with. Look, you calling us racist is the lowest trick of leftists that, we on this channel, it's not going to work. And in some places, people are going to say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I really didn't mean to be a racist. I didn't mean it the way you heard it." Yeah, that's not us. We're very clear on judging people as individuals. Okay, the answer is sarcastic. So, uh, unless you meant you've never read Rand, either that or sarcasm. In either case, that's unfortunate because you make arguments that are substantive. It's not random trolling with just calling us retards. Maybe there's elements that sound similar, but yeah, I would like to see something from you explaining where your understanding of objectivism, which you have criticized, comes from. If uh, okay, he says he doesn't read. Then how do you criticize a philosophy that has been written? You know, and like, all right, yes, this is what happens when you feed the trolls. Thank you for the lesson. When I see them saying some things that are somewhat serious, I think, okay, maybe there's a chance here. Maybe there's somebody who, might actually be able to have a conversation. Maybe, where they are is a product of whatever circumstances there were. But no, this is not going to be the case. It's a shame because a different one of the trolls who just wrote something here. Who, by the way, earlier, this guy keeps telling us about how much he hates Jews. Couldn't recognize the language Hebrew in which the name of this other troll is in. So yeah, troll conversations are best left in the chat unless they say something really funny, which happens from time to time. Okay. Um, all right. Since we're waiting for Daniel to return so we can um, go back to the video. Uh, okay, there's a report. Donald Trump is open to the possibility of taking out the new supreme leader if he doesn't if he doesn't agree to his demands, according to the Wall Street Journal from U.S. sources that mentioned that Trump said this to his aides and put dismantling the Iranian nuclear weapons program as one of his demands. That's good, but how about a list of demands and meeting them through strength? Peace through strength is peace through superior firepower, which is what needs to rain down on Iran for this war to be won. Um, Okay, the sources also told the journal that it's likely that Israel would carry out such an operation to take out Khamenei Jr. And also mentioned that Israel is leading the effort in taking out Iranian leaders. Good. Um, and CNN asked Gidon Sa'ar, Israel's foreign minister, if Mujatba Khamenei. I don't have time to get used to that name. All right, I'm not going to get it right before. Hopefully, I don't have time. Uh, is he a target? And Gidon Sa'ar, the foreign minister, said, "You'll have to wait and see. We are waiting. We're ready to see." So yeah, please speed that up if you can. And Yeah, an Iranian missile to the center of Israel was shot down, and that is, I think, all the updates we have at the moment that are relevant. Yeah, Moody says, I heard IDF had injured the son of Khamenei. Yeah, that's my understanding, that he was injured. From my understanding, in the first strike um, on his father, or one of the first strikes, rather than in the when they hit the bunker. And it's not clear who was the target there, and whether or not it was successful. But good. No, I will not send you a link to debate. This is not a channel where we're not open-minded. As Ayn Rand made the distinction between open-minded and active-minded, we very much support and encourage active-mindedness. But no, we do not. I'm not gonna bring somebody on here and debate whether the Jews deserved it on October 7th, or any of the previous incidents. And yeah, that is not of interest on, and not what we do on this channel. So no. Okay. Uh, yeah, I know you're a Jew. Yeah, I know. So Jews voted for the Nazi Party in Germany, and Jews today support the modern version of it, which is the Palestinians. So yeah, if you support support the creation of a Palestinian state, if you oppose Israel's military action in Gaza, not because it is insufficient, as it absolutely is, and is the reason why Israel hasn't won on that front, then yeah, you are on the side of Jew killers. And go read my essay about Vivian Silver. I strongly encourage you to do so, even though you uh, claim to not read. It's not a book. It's an essay. It's an article, an essay, and not a long one. You can go read that about Vivian Silver, the tragic legacy of Vivian Silver. I highly recommend it. I mean, I wrote it, so I should recommend it. But yeah, okay, you're trolling again, so let me go check some more news. Actually, you know where I haven't checked news is Telegram groups, although when we are without Daniel, that means that, well, yeah, that means I'm not gonna share. Oh, Daniel is returning. Uh, all right, this is just video. It's good video, but it's of planes landing on the USS Lincoln. But we're on something more entertaining and less on topic. So, Daniel, let's go back to Sam Cedar.
His life, and he can't even name a style of coffee that he likes.
To be fair, he says he's working on the bit, so maybe he'll come up with something at some point.
Yes.
Maybe keep that one,
What
behind
great
the scenes
inspiration. Well, I'm so inspired by this. I'm so deeply emotionally invested in this. But do I have I don't have an opinion on what is good coffee. I just have an opinion that it's the most important thing to people's lives. I mean, this is why the guy complains about the gay kink, because everybody's like, dude, well, nobody knows what you're talking about. It's all in your head.
It must be a head trip to be as rich as a king, like a gay French king, for instance, and also like lose the ability to be funny.
Well,
Everyone that he deals with, if this guy did not have his millions of dollars, and people in comedy understand this. If he didn't have that level of money, no one would even aside from not remembering his name, but nobody would be going back and looking at old Jerry Seinfeld tapes.
has it ever been more clear? He was the least talented.
Wait.
on that show,
Sorry.
Seinfeld.
Daniel, I'm going to ask you to rewind afterwards so we can hear everything Emma says. but people listen to Seinfeld because he has money. Socialists really don't understand how the world works. Like that's not how it works. Jerry Seinfeld has money because people prefer to watch his content than yours, Sam. That's why he has more money than you. That's why you have more money than us. And but by the way, and why the world looks like it does, because ideas like yours are more popular than ours, so you make more money. That's how money making works. Provide a value that people choose to pay for, and you get that money as you are getting it, and as Seinfeld got. And it's not millions. I do believe it's over $1 billion, right? But don't quote me on that. No, is he not a billionaire?
I'd be surprised.
Do you know how popular Seinfeld was and how much he's getting in royalties
Oh, okay,
for that show?
it
It's
says around 1 billion.
Yeah, that makes sense. And he is a popular comedian. He's filling stadiums. He's not doing comedy clubs anymore. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know if people watch Sam Seder because he's interesting, because they think the woman that is with him is interesting or pretty, or what is the reason for it. Uh, but it could be that it's yeah, it could be that people get value from things you can't imagine. By the way, maybe you can't imagine people getting value and paying for it because you know that you are creating trash, and you don't understand how it is possible that you have all the money you have. Daniel,
Uh, Somebody in the chat says down, 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 down. Um, well, rather than like focusing on Seinfeld specifically or whatever some says, I'll go to something interesting. As somebody like interested in like comedian scene, this is an actually like what he says, and maybe if Seinfeld went back on this bit, he would say, this wasn't good or this showing wasn't good or something. But apparently, it's really hard for like really famous comedians to actually try new things, especially since everybody has a phone, right? If you go even to some really low club, people will recognize you. People will record you. And if you have a bad night, you now have a recording of like, look, Seinfeld is unfunny. So apparently I've heard that it's a problem for a lot of really popular comedians where it's like they cannot try new material because it might be unfunny. As even like you can be the greatest comedian ever and you can bomb. Like that's common thing that happens. It doesn't matter how popular you are, doesn't matter how much money you have. You might have a really bad night where you just completely bomb and you do not get a single laugh. It might be, the audience, how you feel, the bit you've chosen, anything. So yeah, like this over focusing on, I really dislike like trying to really hate on comedians or anybody for that matter who like has a bad showing. Again, I think you have to go back to sort of what is the general thing they put out. So that's why, I have to do this because for the most part I am kind of on Sam's side. So at least with this bit, so or this
oh,
segment. So
oh no. All right. Yeah. Um, look. Yeah. By the way,
by the way, specifically when it comes to comedy, like whatever like Sam Sidra says about like Seinfeld being a Zionist or whatever, I'm
look,
obviously.
maybe maybe we should watch Sam Cedar's actual comedy at some point. Maybe watch it, not when we're live and
I
see.
think Sam is pretty funny, I have
All
to
right.
say. So uh
We can
I
agree.
or rather he has I think he has that thing of ability of like he knows what's funny and he can act like he doesn't know that he's being funny, which can be like a really interesting. It's like a really interesting dynamic. There is one video of him which is hilarious because can I say this? So uh, okay, this was there was a debate between Sam Cedar and Destiny on Kyle Rittenhouse. And they are kind of friendly, but they were kind of arguing because Destiny was saying that did I say Kyle Kulinski? Kyle Rittenhouse.
You said Rittenhouse,
Okay.
but now you
Ka-
said Polinsky, which
okay.
obviously.
Destiny was of the opinion that Rittenhouse was clearly acting as self-defense. Sam Cedar was saying that not. And at some point, Destiny used the line that if Kyle Rittenhouse was black, Sam Cedar would be guzzling buckets of his cum. Now that's definitely a statement. But then Sam Cedar did like a bit of 5 minutes where he repeated this phrase like 10 times of like, you said I would be. I don't want to repeat it, but I would be guzzling. And that's like a 5 minute video, and it's pretty funny because he like keeps repeating it. And I think he knows that like what he's saying is like funny because he like keeps repeating that. So I think he has the ability to be pretty funny. So that's why I don't want to attack him on his comedy because I find him pretty
All
funny.
right, you found him funny. By the way, I like that you didn't want to repeat it, but you said it, so I don't know what the point of not wanting to repeat it is. But yeah, yeah. Look, the point about comedians bombing on stage. Yeah, I'm sure if Sam Cedar does this frequently, even if he is funny, it may have happened to him. It's I'm sure unpleasant. Larry David, I read a story that he would if the audience would laugh as a joke, like he would get upset with the audience and express it, and sometimes just walk off the stage, which is very much
When they wouldn't.
yeah, like in his younger years. Like if they didn't find it funny, they're the problem. But look, if you take the other side, if the audience finds it funny, you end up becoming a billionaire if they find it funny enough, and that is where he got to. The question about whether Daniel would debate you is a question for Daniel to answer, but I can tell you it's not going to be on this channel because, again, the topics you want to debate are not, we're not going to bring somebody with your views on this channel ever. So if you want somebody to debate you on your channel, I'm sure we can find somebody who will do that. And on your previous comment that somebody should give me money so I debate you, yeah, we are capitalist and we provide a value. Bless you, Daniel, or Gesundheit, or whatever people prefer saying. And look, that you are, I guess it's a sort of an insult. That's what it's meant as. It's meant as an insult to me, like because I want us to make money, and I absolutely do. Like I don't want us to keep the lights on. That's step one. I want us to be as rich as Sam Cedar and ultimately as rich as Jerry Seinfeld if we can. And I'll be proudly rich and unapologetically if we get there. But yeah, we are creating the content that we see fit to create, and we absolutely hope it's of value to people. And people who find it of value can contribute. But no, it's not. Give Razi money, and he will then produce whatever content you want him to produce because that may work with you and social. Maybe your run for office, the platform is determined by whoever gives you money, but we do it the other way around. Thank you, PC. PC is somebody who understands that and supports this channel with super chats, and understands that one of the things you do get with a super chat is your comment read out if it is respectful and you know um, on point, or it doesn't have to be on any point that we want to make, but yeah, uh, uh, that is a way to support the channel. PC, thank you for the super chat. PC says, Razi, why is there an embassy of Palestine in Hammersmith? No such country exists. Uh, Very good question. And yeah, okay, the person says your super chat is disabled. If you can enable it, great. But again, we do not guarantee that we're going to read it, okay? It depends on the question, and I guarantee you I will not debate you, whatever the amount is. Thank you, Govin, for gifting an Ayn Rand Center UK YouTube membership, and congratulations, Secret Bass Rings, for receiving that membership. You just missed a session on Atlas Shrugged, but that is recorded and you have access to it afterwards. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it.
Ready for next?
Yes.
When Seinfeld first
Let's do it.
Oh yeah, thanks for getting us demonetized. I thought this would be the one
There's
day.
no way that's
By the
like.
way, several days in a row, we because we use clips that are funny but use some sort of music that is copyrighted, the episode after the fact isn't monetized. That doesn't affect super chats, by the way. Don't worry about that. But I've noticed at least in the last 2 days, and I didn't check before. It's probably the case as well that it said we get a notification. It says it's blocked in some territories, and then I check which ones, and it's Russia. So yeah, people of Russia, Jesus Christ, it's got to be tough living there. Maybe change your regime as the Iranians will hopefully do. Okay, let's watch some more.
Nobody would be going back and looking at old Jerry Seinfeld tapes.
Has it ever been more clear? He was the least talented actor on that show, Seinfeld, from just like an acting perspective, and also just like in the years since. We said this before. Like he's just, even though he has all those millions, it's not enough because he's made B movie and frickin' Frosted Flakes Netflix special, and his comedy writing partner has gone on to win many awards, and it's become quite clear who was really driving that bus.
Speaking of
Okay,
which,
quickly, let's pause. Let's pause. Wow, these people, that's the thing. Here's why it is interesting to hear them talk about Seinfeld beyond the bitterness that these people have, because they really don't understand anything about money making. It's not, and why people do what they do to make money. Socialists are materialists. They think the only reason you want money is like to buy, or you do things. The only things you do, only reason you do something productive is because it'll bring in money. So why, when you have all these millions, why would you keep producing stuff? Why aren't you sitting around and being the kind of person that we can say that poor people should eat? Why are you actually working? Because people love what they do, and yeah, the money is a great reward. So he did a movie about cereal. What I love about the movie about cereal, which I it's not my favorite. Let's put it mildly. Although there was a segment there from Mad Men right in the middle, which I did enjoy. But the reason he did that is because he loves cereal, and we know that because we saw it on Seinfeld and we've heard it ever since. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna make a movie about this, and you don't like it, you don't watch it, you don't enjoy it, write a review. Send me feedback. I don't think he said that. But yeah.
Seinfeld wrote the B movie? I thought he just voiced it. I didn't know he actually wrote it. That's incredible.
Oh yeah, there was the B movie as well. I'm thinking about the cereal movie.
I didn't like that. Well, I didn't found it like amazing. It was.
Me
I
neither.
don't
But
remember.
again,
Yeah.
that's the one example, and which is why they're doubling down on it. And it had some good moments, especially that Mad Men scene, which if you watch Mad Men, as I have 5 times start to finish, by the way, on this channel, 5 episodes of TV talk are about Mad Men. The only 5 episodes, I believe, that feature me as well. Make sure you check that out. We have reached our super chat goal and surpassed it. So ads, Daniel, are they disabled or are they about to be disabled? In any case, yeah, for the rest of this stream, there will be no ads. I know it's less of this stream than yesterday, but thank you again, everybody, for all your generous support. We are on our way to being the Sam Cedar of objectivism, hopefully. No, that is already Yaron Brook. Money-wise, not necessarily. I'm not comparing him content-wise. That is a channel I highly recommend. Yeah, PC, thank you for the super chat. PC says they are on Facebook. Palestine in the UK. I placed Israeli flags on all their posts. Yeah, uh, yeah, okay. Look, these people are gonna be around, and if they of all the things that this country does, that is the last thing I would expect to see canceled. So yeah, we're gonna have to live with it for now. Um, oh, Kathleen is opening up a whole other front. Razi, how the fuck did you watch it 5 times? Boring. Don Draper is not my favorite character. Yeah, I completely agree with all of that. By the way, I've been thinking since we launched the channel, which since we're promoting things, we launched the Cultural Review a few months ago, and yeah, that is now on pause, but more is coming there. I've been thinking of doing another Mad Men. I mean, again, I like when we did Mad Men, I really seriously thought let's do an episode on each episode. Every one of them has so much stuff. It's one of my favorite shows. I wouldn't put it at the very top, but it I think is the best written show I've ever seen. So I could not recommend it strongly enough. Um, yeah, ZMT, I agree. Mad Men has super sharp writing, hard not to like it. Completely agree. It's a just a wonderful show. People, it make and now I really want to watch it again. So maybe in part because it's kind of I see the contrast with what what we are watching right now. Ooh, I completely disagree that Billions is way better, Kathleen, and I say that as a wrestling fan. And Billions gets to a point. There's wrestling references throughout, and it gets to a point where there's one at least in every episode, and there's wrestling wrestlers coming in. But Chandler was saying how Daniel is the reference man. That show is so referential to everything. They keep referencing movies that I've never watched. Keep referencing stuff like, and not just the movie as a whole, like some bit in a movie. And it got to the point where there were wrestling references that I didn't get. And I'm thinking, who are you appealing to with it? So I didn't like it. I like the Ayn Rand references. Some of them were spot on. Yeah. So that was nice. Uh, yes, you did start me on pro wrestling. Well done. No, I don't want to wrestle you, a person who wants to debate me. See, that's where they go. Eventually, they want to they get to
Wait,
the
what
point.
does it mean to be a wrestler? Does it mean like
What I
spec-
mean, what I mean when I say professional wrestler is somebody who participates in professional wrestling. That is the scripted stuff. But there's also, actually, if you really want to understand the distinction, watch the South Park episode about wrestling. Let's go back to Sam Cedar. Actually, did you comment, or was I just going on an endless rant about everybody?
pretty much? I mean, since B movie was mentioned, I just have to mention, my favorite quote, especially when it comes to the Coke Zero stuff. For your information, I prefer artificial sweeteners made by men. I know it has an aftertaste. I like it. It's absolutely one of the. By the way, the boyfriend of the main character, the girl, is like the most reasonable character in like the whole thing. Like a bee came up and wants to bang his like girlfriend. And it's like he's not supposed to go crazy.
Sorry, I did miss that reference. I heard something about banging, and I'm like, maybe we should go back to whatever it was we were doing rather than going through any down any of those rabbit holes.
And like messaging ER or something.
Yes. But I'm also waiting for you
Oh.
to play Sam Cedar.
Let's just watch this one clip. Now this is funny.
Oh, Kurt?
Yeah. Now this is funny.
Hey, Larry, come for Shabbos dinner one of these weekends. We had Barry Weiss last Friday night. She's fantastic. Hey, Larry.
Right, let me just pause. Okay, I get it. Now I get it. These people, okay, it's funny. It's funny if you make fun of people with the wrong kind of views, and it's not funny. By the way, imagine I had to restrict my laughter to comedy by objectivists. No offense, objectivist comedians. Actually, I know some objectivist comedians who are funny. But if that was all, like if I'm not allowed to laugh at Curb Your Enthusiasm because Larry David is a leftist who is anti-Israel, really, that's a pretty sad state of existence. So, yeah, but yeah, state of existence is, I think, appropriate to what we see on Sam Cedar with him and his co-host.
I mean, I guess, disagree a little bit. I think generally you should try to align your values, even things like comedy. And I think generally, if you are trying to be true to yourself, you have integrity. Uh, I think you will find bad things distasteful and good things tasteful. My example of this is Bill Burr. I love Bill Burr was one of my favorite comedians. But in his later years, well, he's still alive. I don't know why I said it like that. But in the last few years, he started going more and more like the conspiratorial route, the sort of the evil bankers route, and all that. And I think basically at the same time, I started finding just his comedy less tasteful because of how much it focused on that. So yeah, I think to some extent your values will show up in many things. But again, it's not really like one-on-one. And again, it's like overarching. So it's not like um I mean, it's hard to find, like, to me, it's hard to find somebody who would be like pro-Palestinian, like outwardly pro-Palestinian, and I would like share any values with them. But I could see, somebody on the left, somebody on the right, depending on what angle they come from it. I think there could be shared values there based on, again, actual shared values. But I think with pro-Palestinian people and with all the baggage that comes with it, the anti-Western, the anti like civilization, the anti-life philosophy that comes with it. I think it's generally super hard to find somebody who's pro-Palestinian and that I can like find some value in.
Yeah, Moody, I think you were on your call when the troll you're arguing with right now, who says he's not a troll. I asked him after his criticism of objectivism what he's read by Rand, and he said that he doesn't read. I assume that's sarcasm, but I'd also assume he hasn't read Rand. So yeah, his accusations are take them within that fact. Um, Thank you, PC, for the super chat. Oh, before I read the super chat, I want to say when Daniel was correctly accusing me of texting Eyal during the show, it was about the vest. Eyal wants people to see him in the vest. I am asking him we started doing super chat goals yesterday. It's a new thing, and I asked him to let's keep it. The people will see the vest, but they will see it when we get to that super chat goal. That and the Nikos Guevara T-shirt. So two articles of clothing will be revealed. One is an AI rendition that Daniel just created, but will soon be a thing, I think, on AynRandCenter.co.uk/shop. If we get, well, we already have Nikos's permission to use his likeness, so I think that extends universally, right? Anything we do with Nikos's image, we are allowed to sell. So yeah, how far are we, Daniel, from actually getting to 150? Because it's not impossible. I mean, it's definitely not impossible to get there today.
47 and a half.
Okay, it's gonna take a couple of big super chats, basically. PC says, I read the left will tactical vote to beat Farage. Yes, I've also read, and this was a while ago, that the conservatives aren't ruling out some sort of deal with um, reform is their name, with some sort of deal with reform where they don't run in places where that could ruin it for both, which is interesting because of course the conservatives historically would not have agreed to that, but now they don't look like they're going to be in power. But yeah, I'd expect tactical voting, of course. It is something people do. It's first past the post. It's not like Israel where it's proportional representation. You get 4 seats, you got 4 seats, and you have sometimes a disproportional amount of influence if you are the kingmaker. We saw that with Bennett, who had, I believe, six or 7 seats. That's not a 6-7 reference. It is actually, I think he had 7, and then maybe somebody left his party. And was prime minister, even though there were at least 2 parties, I think more than 2 parties that were bigger in the same coalition. But yeah, you don't get that in first past the post. Second place by 1 vote, you're out. So okay, while we Really, you voted for Bennett? Oh, look, maybe you got what you wanted because he ended up sitting with anti-Israeli Arab parties, but this is inconsistent with a lot of what you say. Look, people, one of the ways to help promote this content, other than super chatting and becoming a member, is of course to click the like button. Wow, we are not even at 100. This has never happened on the streams, the war streams, right? Day 10 is the day that we don't make it to 100. I hope not. People, go click that like button. If you get value from this content, you support it for free by doing that. And again, another way to help promote our content without spending any money is to keep commenting. And I'm gonna try a thing that people do in live streams, which is to inspire people to answer a question. And we're talking about comedians. So while we watch the next segment, can people tell us who your favorite comedian is? And we'll discuss that at some point afterwards. I'm also wary of going back to the news because the last piece of news really terrifies me. If Trump pulls the plug on this, we are in very bad territory. But us ignoring it will not actually change reality. So we will go back to it. Okay.
Incidentally, that's
Action the show?
just so you know, that's shorthand for this guy's a schmuck.
And that was how old? That clip?
2021. Late
2021?
Yep.
Wow.
I love him.
I can't
That's
believe
great.
that.
That is like, it's, I mean, people probably didn't even know, but that was like, yeah, it's like, how do we articulate that this guy's a schmuck? Oh, I know, Barry Weiss is coming over.
Oh, gosh.
Fantastic. Folks, I'm going to read a couple IMs and get out of here, but not very much. Sorry. I went too far today. Number 13. I just had to, that Jerry Seinfeld thing, like, because I sat down, I'm like, I got to watch this, see if there's any clips to pull out of it. I couldn't get past.
I thought we were going to get to
minutes.
the part where he cried, but I guess we'll save it.
No,
for
that's
tomorrow.
you can do that one tomorrow. I just was so like coffee's the most important thing in the world, and then like what kind of coffee do you like? Yeah, I don't know.
This is like
I don't think about it much.
This is our RFK Tim Pool thing, which is this is one for Sam, one for Emma.
Right.
You can do the
His and
tomorrow.
hers.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, I want to see him cry. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I just like it just from an artistic perspective, it's the most important thing to humans.
It's not even. It doesn't even hit. Like you really on your deathbed, you're going to be thinking about coffee.
Yeah,
no one
I still
thinks
don't
that way.
understand it. I still don't get it at all.
Me neither. I mean, I might be
It's the
thinking
most
about.
important thing because if you die, you won't be thinking about the last thought that you get to your head because you'll be thinking, I like this coffee.
But it shows how shallow of a human being he is, because coffee very well may be the most important thing to him, and he doesn't even know like the first thing about it.
Well, that's his show, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, right? That's his Netflix show, yeah, which is as masturbatory as it sounds.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe.
Yeah, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on Sound Cedar's
Yeah, right.
channel, people. Thank you, Jeff, for the super chat. Jeff says $10 for 10 days of coverage. Very much appreciated, and brings us closer to Iyar in a vest and to the Nikos Guevara t-shirt that the world needs to see, and then hopefully needs to buy on aynrandcenter.co.uk/shop. So he's a comedian, as you said, so he's being funny maybe, or trying to be funny, and he's talking with his co-host, and they're talking about Seinfeld, who's a comedian, so it's all kind of jokey and light, and you may miss the point where she says, I want to see him cry. Now, they're talking dismissively about him crying. Now, what is he crying about? Is it something, I don't know, some joke that he was crying of laughter? No. Is it some just something that you expect? Are you really gonna cry over that? It was him talking about visiting Israel after October 7th. So yeah, to these people are so sinister that maybe watching them talk about Seinfeld makes you think of them as decent people, or just people, just funny, bitter people. But no, they really are really, really evil. And uh, October 7th is funny to them, more than Jerry Seinfeld, and they want to see people who are sad about October 7th, who cried about it. They want to see them cry. They, I'm sure, want to see October 7th itself repeated again and again until there are no more Jews left to kill except Sam Seder, who I'm sure thinks he will be spared, as Hamas has promised to do, to kill Jews again and again. So, yeah, it's quite a sad. And thank you, Kathleen, for the super chat. Kathleen asks, how much is enough to make you stop playing this guy? No amount of money, as we said, will stop us from talking about people who deserve to be called out. And this end of the clip shows why it's important to play clips like that, even when we play it as something lighter within a less light type of content, because they slip it in. They slip the sinister, disgusting nature of their character in. And this Emma woman, as I mentioned, we saw this earlier in the clip. She doesn't say much, but she brings the hate in, sort of without the laughter. She which is kind of more in your face and less easy to ignore.
Yeah, and again, then they start dissecting like what is funny about coffee being like your favorite thing. And well, oh, they've never heard of like a joke premise, or an idea. Like they're trying to find like logic in like ridiculous scenarios. Like I cannot. I'm trying to like remember like my favorite jokes from comedians, and like these people like try to, well, what is exactly like funny about like them coming like, What is funny about like a show about nothing? I mean there's nothing, right? So what should be funny about it if you don't talk about anything?" And it's like, okay, you just
Look, it's also their ideology is all about tearing people down. So yeah, if I can only imagine if there was a video of Seinfeld on stage with a joke falling flat, what how much they're gonna enjoy that kind of stuff. It's not just specifically because he has a different ideology. People like to tear the left-wing people, absolutely, at the core of their ideology, like to tear down. They don't want to build. They want to tear down. And it reminds me of, you remember that thing that happened last year when this couple who were both married were at a Coldplay concert and became like the most viral thing on the planet because they were on the kiss cam and then they had to go and hide and stuff. And turns out the guy was, you remember, I'm maybe not explaining this well, but you remember that, I'm sure, because
oh
everybody,
okay, yeah, I
yeah.
remember.
And people enjoyed it so much, and I'm thinking like it's why are you enjoying the ruining of people's lives? And of course people jump in and they're like, oh well, they were cheating, you don't know anything. Like the one of those marriages has already been over. The other, I don't know what the status of it was, but I think a big part of it was people discovered who it was, and it was rich people. So rich people, an opportunity to tear down rich people. Imagine that. United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson gets shot in the street. Rich person who provided value that people chose to pay for, killed. Good. That is the left wing ideology, properly applied. So yeah, even when they're funny, don't forget how actually sinister they are.